Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. She's looking at me. She's laying in her bed, looking at me like, what? Like I was just talking to her or something. Oh my goodness. She's so silly. I think she was a good portion of the night playing. I see her toys kind of scattered about a little bit. I decided, after I did excuse me, after I did, there she is, here we are. Good morning, how are you? You want to say good morning to everybody? Yep, there's the beautiful girl. That is Miss America right there, folks. She is Miss America. Miss Universe, the whole ball of wax. She's that much of a diva. Oh my goodness, sorry. There's a little tickle. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Little congestion, little heaviness today. But it's okay. There was a little bit of a haze out there last night with the Canadian wildfires, but it wasn't too bad. I was doing everything I could to keep my mask on, but it definitely got humid. Oh my goodness, it got so humid. It was all just pouring off of my face, and I was like, I gotta take my mask off. I need to take my mask off. Just so I could, try and breathe or what have you. Excuse me. My goal last night, actually surpassed it. Yay, I'm very happy for that. So I got tonight, and then tomorrow I have to, of course, have everything ready for the car rental. So I plan on working all the way through Friday. That'll be my 5 days. So, but anywho, like I was saying yesterday with the, after I got done recording the video, I need to run over and get her some food. And she's been on Science Diet ever since I found her. Ever since we came into each other's lives, basically. So, yeah, initially I just grabbed whatever I could get my hands on because it was middle of the night. But the next day I'm like, okay, I haven't had a cat since I was 9. What kind of food should I feed her, I was like, I hadn't really thought that far ahead. I was more concerned with getting her off the streets at that point. And I was like, okay, what sort of food should I feed her? Now that I have her, it's like, And I went to PetSmart, and I'm just wandering around, because I'm looking for kitten food. She was only about 6 weeks old at that point. And I'm wandering around, and I'm like, and I kept getting drawn over to Science Diet. I did look at this other one. I don't remember what it was, but the thing that I liked about Science Diet is it had those stages in life. So I was like, okay. And I even spoke with one of the technicians there at the vet clinic, and they were like, well, you just really need to bring her in, and all that sort of crap and everything. I'm like, well, at this stage she's hiding and she ain't going to be coming out anytime soon. Well, you need to bring her in as soon as possible. It was all that. And it was like, yeah, okay, I'll get right on that. She kept hiding she kept hiding in the office up underneath this one chest of drawers that I had. It was an antique chest of drawers, dresser, basically, that I had. And there was an opening in the back that she was able to run around to the back of and crawl up underneath it. She was real tiny at that point, and she was hiding up underneath there for security. But that's okay. Even though she was trying to hide from me because she didn't like me. Total switch. I know. I pulled a fast one on her, and I took her food and water. Well, there was my bunny's litter box in there, which she was definitely using. She got rid of all that gunk, we'll call it, from the outside world, from having to be living out there briefly. Excuse me. And then what I did was I took her food and water and I put it in a spot where she had to interact with me. And that's how she started getting to know me. And now, look at her. Look at all the pictures and videos and everything. It's like, total turnaround. Well, this is going to, actually, yeah, this is going to make 7 years later. Actually, our anniversary is coming out July 31st. So, yeah. 7 years. And now she doesn't know what to do with herself without me. I know. But anyway, back to the food. Now that she is definitely 7 years old, I still have a whole bag of the dry food. She more kind of grazes on that, and she doesn't really eat that all that much. All too often or anything. But but I do have a whole bag of that. She does eat it from time to time. So I'm like, okay, we'll just finish that off. That'll probably take her 3, 4, or 5 months to finish that off. But mostly what she eats is the wet food. And, of course, her treats. Yeah, her frisky treats. That's what we call them all. She gets kind of combination of 3 different flavors of the Friskies treats. What is it, party mix or whatever. She likes these 3. And basically the California Crunch, and then there's 2 the beach party something or what, I don't know. And then there's the one that's all ocean whitefish. I have no idea. So she gets those, and then she also gets, she likes the shrimp flavored Temptations. She also likes the mixed bag of the different fish varieties or whatever. But she really likes the shrimp flavored, and she prefers, since how she's already getting all the fish from the Friskies, yeah. And then I also do the salmon flavored greenies. Keep those chompers good and fresh and everything. Otherwise, if she doesn't get those, it's like she does get bad breath very, very easily. She's always had bad breath ever since she was a baby. Excuse me. I've tried different things and so forth. Not much helps. So I just do the greenies and be done with it, because trying to catch her to brush her teeth, and she absolutely hates having her teeth brushed. Forget it. Total nightmare. So, but anyway, with being over there and knowing that she's 7 now, I'm just like, well, jumping the gun here with, oh, she's 7, so I need to switch her food right away. I was just like, seriously? Do I really need to? But I'm just like, I'm standing there and I'm looking at the foods. Yeah, they do have the chicken and rice medley, which she absolutely loves. And they do have that in the 7 Plus. So I decided, okay, I'll go ahead and switch over to that. Same price, so no big deal. They don't make a salmon flavor in the 7 plus. So I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and grab that, at least in the 1 to 6, because she does love that flavor still. The tuna, it's a tuna and seared tuna and carrots. It's basically these small cans, and she only eats half of them. I don't bother trying to give her a full can. It doesn't work. So I just get her a small can, and she kind of takes it or leaves it when it comes to the seared tuna one. And they're shreds, basically. It isn't like the others where it's the bigger cans or whatever, where it's either pate or the chunks. Those ones she really takes or leaves. She will eat the third of the can. As far as the big cans are concerned, we're talking, kind of like, I don't know, this big or whatever, that tall or whatever. They're almost like $3 a can. She only eats a third of those. So with those, she'll eat that third portion and then kind of leaves the rest. So that's why I just do the small, even if I do the leftovers. So yeah, that's why she really prefers the texture, basically, and flavor and so forth of the ones that are in the small cans. So that's why I stick with those with her. So, anywho, and they'd have the chicken and rice medley in the 7+ category. And then they do have this other one that was a chicken one. But I'm like, chicken and chicken? Really? That's what they're going to be eating? No. But I did have her, when I temporarily took care of a senior cat, I found it easier just to have them all on the science diet food and also on the 7+ formula. And they both really liked the beef flavored one. And so I got that in substitution of the tuna. I figured, it kind of takes it or leaves it when it comes to the tuna ones. She doesn't mind it the first half, but then the leftover, yeah. So I'm like, let's go ahead and switch her up and go ahead and do the beef flavored one. And that one comes in the 7+. Now they're starting to make it in kitten formula. It's like, where was that when I, had her 7 years ago? Oh well. But that's okay. So, yeah, I went ahead and got that. And I figured I would give it to her. And boy, did she wolf that down. Along with her spinach, too. Because she's kind of been picking at her spinach here lately. She wolfed down her spinach, too. So, yay. She cleaned the plate. And yet, she still has her same dishes that I bought her from when she was a baby. I was very careful with the move. I was very careful with making sure that those were wrapped up really, really well, really secure and so forth in the suitcases. I don't even remember which suitcase I had them in even. But nope, they survived. They did well. So, but yeah, she did. And she was very energetic yesterday because of everything. I mean, bouncing off the walls. And I think she was up all night playing because of it. I'd seen her toys, and she was just all this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed this morning, as you could see. So, that's good. As far as Mom is concerned, Mom had a bit of a rough day yesterday. But, of course, like, as you could see, I was feeling better. That is until I ate. Oh my gosh. Total nightmare. So, that's okay. I survived, and I was just like, all right, everything was just flaring up in there and so forth. Oh, I got some possum hair there, an orangey one. But yeah, everything was just flaring up, and I was getting bloated, and this and that, and I was just like, ugh, I have to go out to work today. Um, Fight through it, this, that, and nothing was helping. And I didn't even think about it to maybe get, well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because I don't have a lemon zester. But anyway, some ginger root and turmeric roots. Combine those together, shred them, with the lemon zester inside of a tea ball. But either way, first thing that I was thinking of was in and out. Or even I could have gotten some pineapple juice. Didn't even think about that. The bromelain, in pineapple juice. It's in pineapple is very good with helping with upset stomachs as well. Didn't think about it. Oh well. That's okay. What I should probably do, that would be a good idea. Dehydrate. It doesn't really matter as far as the ginger or the turmeric. I've shredded, zest them both. Throw them in the tea ball straight in a hot cup of water. Good to go. That usually helps. Yeah. But I was thinking with dehydrating pineapple somehow, keeping that around, maybe that could help. Yeah, I could take those little bits or whatever, put that into my nose. Put that into the tea concoction, and then I'd get the bromelain on top of it. That actually sounds really good. I just have to dehydrate pineapple. I don't have a dehydrator. And I don't know how to do it. I'll have to look that up on how to do that. Air dry it somehow. No idea how in the world you go about doing any of that without it getting icky. I'll have to look that up. I'll have to learn how to do that. All right. After all, I'm going natural, organic, natural with everything anyway. So, all right, let's do that. I know I'm kind of sitting on my hair there. It's getting a little long. It's all right. I don't mind. But anyway, I wound up. I know my nose is a little funky this morning. A little bit of postnasal back there. But anyway, I felt secure enough with, well, Sunday I didn't feel secure at all. There was way too much cramping, and I knew if I attempted to take an Imodium, that would have been devastating, even more so. And I've been dealing with this mess since 2013, so I know its personality. I know better than to try and do things. So, anywho, but yesterday I'm like, all right, it's not as bad as Sunday. It was bad, but it's not as bad. I'm like, all right, let's go ahead and risk taking an Imodium. So I did, and then I jumped into the shower, started getting rid of quite a bit, and then it hit. And yeah, it cramped up a little bit, but at least it helped stop things. And I got out there to work. I figured, getting out there to work would be twofold. For one thing, it would get me back on my feet. Well, I guess threefold. Help get me back on my feet, help take care of the financial situation, and also help clear things out. Safe to say, I was not in a good mood. But I did it anyway. I refused to eat anything when I was out there. My sugar was flying before when I got out of the shower, man, my sugar was flying because of everything that was been going on and so forth. You know, it's stress on the body. So, of course, it's going to put stress on the diabetes, cause the diabetes to get out of whack. But I went ahead and I took, with as high as what it was, I was like, yeah, I seriously considered taking 3 units, but I'm like, no, I'm going to take 4. I felt like 5 was going to be a little bit too much. So I'm like, let's go in between there and let's go ahead and do the 4. And I just felt like 3 was going to not be enough. Even with the activity that was going on and so forth, I'm like, no, because, you know, I'm going to be probably evacuating some stuff. One way or another. And that's going to be a little bit stressful on the body as well. So, and as I was kind of already was, sure enough. And 4 wound up being perfect. And then, of course, I was late with getting my nighttime insulin, so of course my sugar went flying again. But woke up this morning when I got home, I was just like, you know what, I really don't, I was tired, and I'll admit I was a bit cranky. I did not feel like standing there dishing out food onto a plate and then having to be cleaning a plate afterwards, this and that and everything. I was going to do chicken and side salad. I was just not in the mood. I was like, nope, nope, nope. So I'm like, you know what sounds really good? And I really wasn't now like terribly hungry anyway. I'm like, you know what? But I knew I had to eat something. I mean, I was a little bit hungry, but not all that terribly much. And I'm like, you know what? It sounds really, really good. It's one of those nights where a peanut butter sandwich sounds good with homemade bread. And then I had my organic peanut butter up there. And I'm like, that sounds good. So that's what I did. Half a glass of lemonade. Took 15 units and of the short acting, my usual 23 of the long, and good to go. Woke up, beautiful sugar, 110, right on the money. It was like, yay, loved it. So, that was awesome. That was awesome. So, but yeah, all in all, I was mostly in town most of the time. I got to explore another area, or I should say a few other areas that they're called, I think I was in Cottage Grove once before. It seemed a little familiar. But, and that's in the area of these other parts of St. Paul that I don't know if they're just burbs of St. Paul or if they splintered and decided to name themselves these names, which is what has happened with Minneapolis. It was South St. Paul Park, and West St. Paul. Don't ask. Like, okay. Very nice areas. I actually liked them. And I figured, but, you know, from what I could see in the middle of the night, and I'm like, you know, I'm going to check these areas out. And especially this one apartment complex. It was a little bit more what I'm used to as far as an apartment complex is concerned. And it had the patios with the first floors, the balconies with the second floors. And I'm like, I think I might check those out and see if that might be an option. Even though it's on the south side, excuse me, and I know I settled on Anoka or what have you, Um, I think I might check those out. Especially, what was it? St. Paul Park. Oh my gosh, they had the most adorable little Victorian cottages. Really adorable. 2 stories. They were kind of Victorian farmhouses, basically. Really adorable. And I'm like, oh. And then the downtown area. And then there was also this other area. Oh my gosh. They had the most, it was over by Lake Harriet. Oh my gosh. Gorgeous, gorgeous home. So yeah, I'm sure even the less expensive ones were expensive. But beautiful, gorgeous mansions. Beautiful. And I like the atmosphere too. And people were, that's the thing that about Lake Minnetonka, it would seem a little bit more on the yuppie side, whereas Lake Harriet, I think it's Harriet, anyway, began with an H, I remember that. And it was a female's name, Henrietta, Harriet, something like that. Um, People were just very down to earth, and they were out there at the lake, going swimming, boating, so on and so forth. And it's gorgeous, beautiful sunset going down over the lake too. Um, but yeah, it was just, that's the thing with Minnesota. You know, there's a reason why it's called the land of 10,000 lakes. It's actually closer to 13,000, my understanding. It's like, if you want to live on a lake or by a lake, pick one. Just pick one. There's plenty out there of all different sizes, shapes, the whole ball of wax. But yeah, that was, I liked that area. It was really nice, and they had a cute little downtown area and so forth. Really, really nice. Loved it. Really, really loved it. So, but yeah, the only downside with Minnesota, the state bird is the mosquito. And I'm getting bit here lately. I got bit on my hand that I'm holding my phone with right now. Yeah, it's right. You can kind of see it there. Little bump right there. Right on the knuckle. It's like, seriously? But that's okay. Yeah, not right. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to check out those apartments and so forth. See if that might be doable. And the thing that I liked about it too is that there was wooded areas around. You could hear the toady frogs croaking. Oh, almost forgot. I was actually in St. Paul last night, and unfortunately, I don't know the street. Sucks. Gorgeous, beautiful Victorians, all apartments for the most part, or at least there were some mixed in. The ones I was dropping off at, it was definitely, and it wasn't converted apartments. These were originally apartments. It was inside, and original doors with, and you could tell, with the type wood and then the hardware. It was like, yeah. And this wasn't, somebody found doors somewhere or what have you. These were original doors. So this was originally a house sectioned off, or it looked like a house from the outside, but it was actually apartments inside. I think there was like 9 apartments from what I could see. I remember seeing apartment 9 anyway. I don't know which apartment it was I was supposed to be dropping off at, unfortunately, but I mean, the door was open. I thought, okay, well, maybe I can just but it was like there was 9 apartments, and it was like, okay, so I'm standing there waiting for her to come down. But yeah, but they were, I think it was single family dwellings mixed with, apartment buildings inside also. So anyway, in this neighborhood, and unfortunately, I don't know the street name, but anyway, a couple doors down, um, there was one. I was in hopes it was the one that I was dropping off at, but no. Gorgeous. I got a picture of it. I'll throw it over on the blog. And if you look wondering where the blog is, the link is in. I always put the blog address in the description. And I've been throwing lots of pictures over there here lately. But I did get pictures of that. Oh my gosh! And I thought I got a clear picture of it's being in the process of being redone, and they're bringing it back to its original glory. And I love the colors even that they chose. They're doing it as a painted lady, and it is a Queen Anne. Um, Absolutely loved it. And I thought, like I said, I was saying, I thought I got a picture of the company that's doing the remodel. They have a sign up front. I thought I got a good clear picture, and I didn't. And of course, I have no idea what street this was. I have no idea where I was at. It's like crap. So I have no idea how I could even find the area again to be able to check it out. Oh well, I'll figure it out one way or another. At least I did get a close up of the addresses. It's basically it was 2 apartments inside, so maybe I might be able to track it down somehow. But I'll at least post a picture of the full house over there on the blog. Excuse me. Gorgeous. And there was another one too that it was finished, but unfortunately I was at a traffic light and it was changing at that moment, and I happened to I was looking around, and then it was the light was changing when I happened to be looking this way, and oh my gosh, it was gorgeous, beautiful. I was actually I think I was on my way to dropping off that delivery or the one before. I don't remember. I know it was 2 separate deliveries that I was doing. Oh man, beautiful. And they had actually nice size, not too bad, nice size backyards too, which is surprising because I know they had a tendency to, at least in the urban areas back in those days, to kind of build on top of each other. When it came to, like backyards and so forth. Or at least, they were kind of stacked almost on top of each other or whatever. So, but, while I was there and I was getting pictures and so forth, saw fireflies. I haven't seen fireflies in 20 years. And it was like, oh my gosh, the little bulby sitting there illuminating it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And I immediately thought of this one here. Yeah, she's here, kind of straddling my lap right now. But I immediately thought of her. And that was the thing too with those apartments down there. I was seeing some fireflies in the area, and she would get the biggest kick out of those. That's what I mean. I want an apartment where she can be able to go outside. She won't go very far, but to give her opportunities again to be able to go outside and explore a little bit, I know she needs her rabies shot updated, but I can see about getting that taken care of. But, I want to, and what's really interesting is just before I found those apartments, I was getting 222 angel number popping up like you would not believe. You're on the right path, you're on the right track, and then after that I didn't see it again. But then again, too, I was also taking it as possibly me just being really really grumpy because I'm not feeling very well and this and that and everything, and it's like so that's how I was interpreting it or whatever. And I didn't really just hit me until just now that I was seeing that angel number popping up like crazy, and then I came across those areas down there, and I'm like, it's a thought. But I like Anoka too, so I wouldn't mind checking out those areas down there as well. So we'll see. I'm still exploring. I'm still finding all these little areas and so forth. But it was a nice treat getting uh, um, have an opportunity to be able to see someplace new, or a bunch of places that are new. So, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things work out and so forth. So, but the other thing I did yesterday is got a ball rolling a little bit, at least as far as find out at least find out where I stand with possibly being able to buy. I kind of already know, with the car situation, and my credit score has gone up quite a bit. I filled out this application, uh, and they did reach out to me for follow up, but I stopped the application when they wanted you to agree to a hard credit check. Basically, it was either soft or hard, and of course, that can affect your credit score. And I don't want that to happen right now because I'm just starting to get my credit to go up. So I don't know. And this was one who does do USDA loans, where you don't have to worry about down payments, and that's what I have been wanting to go after anyway. They're usually lower interest payments, and so forth. Just you got to have a little bit of a higher. Well, I think the minimum credit score, according to the feds, but the federal standards, is like 585 or something like that. But most banks want you to be somewhere either 620 or 640. So I'm kind of there at the bottom right now, and I want it to keep going up. So that's why I'm like, I stopped. And let's face it, um, the health really took a huge toll on my finances, and really took my credit took a huge beating with everything. And unfortunately, of course, it wasn't just things with my chest. It was also with the car accident, with things that happened with that 7 years ago. I was in the process of um, rebuilding my credit after taking a hit with um, student loans, all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, I was in the process of rebuilding from all that and everything. Then, of course, I had the car accident, and then, of course, everything else. So, my credit's kind of been up and down over the years, and then these last couple of years, I took a really bad hit. So, I'd much rather be honest about things. Um, could I have done better? Possibly. But, that's all in the past. And there's no point in focusing on it. Just, we're starting fresh. And that's what matters. So, and what matters is moving forward and not focusing on what did happen. Focus on now and move forward. So, um, that's why I kind of stopped with moving forward with the application, because I'm just like, I kind of know where I'm at right now anyway. So I'd much rather just stop and then move forward and just let my credit build up. That's one of the reasons why I fight so much, because I know what I want. One way or another, I haven't quite settled, either buying like an old Victorian, and remodeling it or um, buying an old farmhouse with a bunch of land, or if I can find an old Victorian, especially a Queen Anne with a lot of land. I mean, I have seen it out there. I did see one, but it was all brick, and I don't want brick. I want wood. Um, so I know she's out there. I just gotta find her. With all that land, and then I can have a little farm, maybe a little hobby farm, do the I mean, not the ride sharing, but the deliveries, and so it's like, okay, one way or another. Yeah. Or a situation like I was talking about, with the Victorian in the urban setting, have a little garden in the back. I want to have a garden. That's the big thing. I want to have a garden, a little organic farm garden, excuse me, or go all out and do an all-out farm, one or the other. I just haven't quite made up my mind which way yet. I haven't taken that leap of faith, basically. But if I can find the house that I'm looking for, that setting that I'm looking for, that would be awesome. But I feel like I have felt right from the start. She's out there. Yeah. I just gotta find her. Yeah, right. She's like, what'd you do that for? Because I felt like it. Yeah. Oh, also, my last run, dropping off, I saw a deer. It was real quick, so I didn't have any time to be able to break out the camera, even if it would have been just a small camera I'd throw someplace or whatever. But yeah, saw a deer last night, a doe. A doe, a deer, a female deer. There you go. Ugh, hated that movie. Still hate it. I agree with Christopher Plummer. The Sound of Mucus. Thank you. Some ways I miss him, even though he was an asshole when he was younger. He mellowed. He learned. And of course, it took the love of a woman for it to happen. He straightened himself right up. He was a spoiled, rotten brat. Basically, was what it boiled down to. Spoiled rich kid. Yeah, right. But he fell on his ass too. If you ever get a chance, read his autobiography. It was quite enlightening. Oh, speaking of that, actually, with reading, because him and my grandmother were about the same age, so it kind of helped me to understand that generation a little bit more with things, especially with how she was, because they were both a lot alike. I hate to say it. But yeah, it kind of helped me understand her a little bit more. And it was interesting because when I was coming out of Target yesterday after I went to PetSmart, I need to get some milk, so I just stopped off at Target to get that. And as I was coming out, I had realized I'm pretty much living the same life as what my grandmother did. And we're talking about the abusive witch. I'm kind of following her same path in several ways. There's a lot of similarities there, and I really didn't realize it before. And especially there at the end, she lived the city life there in Chicago, did the things that she did. She was basically a bar girl. That's why all the different fathers. Bar girl, not basically where you, instead of walking the streets, you were it was basically a brothel, only it was held in the back of the clubs, okay, the jazz clubs or what have you. So anyway, I don't know how it happened, but somehow or another she wound up meeting Ray, the man that I always thought was my grandfather as a child, and or the one who I called Grandpa on that side, anyway. And they I don't know how they met or anything, but somehow or another she wound up in Wisconsin, living on his dairy farm, and it was a family farm too. I found out. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. It's just interesting, where I'm looking to basically do the same thing with having some sort of of farm or garden or something like that. So I living the chaotic life of basically running the streets of Vegas, living all of that, all those years, and now I'm in farm country myself. It's interesting, that generational thing. And it's helped me to understand a lot more with her as well. It's like, yeah, even though I wasn't actually living that lifestyle that she was, I was walking that edge and witnessing it the whole time. So I get it. I'm understanding a lot of things a lot more now. And appreciating a little bit more, especially the temperament. As I'll admit, I don't have a whole lot of patience for people myself either anymore. I get triggered. I was trying to think of the word. I get triggered a little easily now. And it's like, okay, something to think about, something to work on. Figure out how I want to proceed with things. It's one of the reasons why I don't really want to live in the urban center, even though it's tempting. I don't really want to live in an urban area. I'd much rather live out away from people. Peace and quiet. So anyway, I know it's getting late. And I need to eat and get myself working. Moving for work. Yeah, right. I know I'll admit I'm a little scared to eat anything, but it is what it is. Maybe I'll just do the chicken. Something a little bit simpler. So, yeah. Yeah, right. Get this one some food too. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. Talk to y'all soon. Love you. Love you.